hope everybody's had a great holiday weekend, and I hope that you're all prepared for the next one for one late night this year as we celebrate the new year coming into 2022. But today we are going to have our Q&A and discuss some of the questions that came up. We've got 7 questions that I pulled out of the comments from the last 2 videos, and we are going to discuss them here on today's show. So if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe, hit that notify, guys, and as always, hit that like. We can get 40 likes this time, guys. You guys have been flying right by to 35. So it's a great opportunity to bump it to 40, and let's see if we can get it there. So we're just going to go right into it because there's a lot of stuff to cover here, and I don't want to drag the episode out for 25 minutes. So the first question I have is from Matthew. Now, Matthew asks, how do Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs compare to the regular ones investment-wise? That's a good question because when we first talked about ETBs, it was always kind of like they were an exclusive product because they were usually printed one time. Usually on the big release of the products for a new set, they would release all the ETBs at once, and that was it. We never saw a reprint of those sets. Since then, Pokemon International, with everything going on, has gone to a wave system. So now you usually get 3 initial waves of any kind of product that comes out. And initially, when they went to the wave system, the first wave carried the ETBs, and they were never really seen again. But now that we're coming into even Evolving Skies and into Pokemon Celebrations and now Fusion Strike, I'm assuming, we are going to continue to see more and more prints of these ETBs. They found that these ETBs sell extremely well. Most stores carry ETBs, so it's a great venue for them to sell these things. So the market is going to be completely kind of flooded with them like booster boxes. Every wave that comes out, I'm assuming we're going to see ETBs come out with that also, which means initially we had talked 3 months ago about how ETBs gain value quicker because they don't go through the reprints, and that does not stand any longer. I'm guessing even at the 1-year print, when they do that 1-year reprint of sets, we're going to see more ETBs of that set come out then. So the next question is, part of it is, what about the exclusive ones? The exclusive ones I don't think will go through reprints. We've seen no evidence of that happening. Of course, they're fairly new when it comes to the Pokemon products. We used to not have those until Chilling Reign. Now, Chilling Reign is an interesting one when it goes to the exclusive ETBs because on top of it you have an error box. They had 8 packs inside of them instead of the 10. If you're going to be looking at an investment style of those, I think that it's a great investment because it's an error on top of an exclusive. But I would definitely be sure that if you do get that error box and you're trying to go for the error tag on that, have the 2-pack blister also. That's what we've done, is we have the exclusive ETB and the 2-pack blister, the I'm Sorry blister pack with the 3 Galarian birds. I think that overall will give you the best bang for your buck when you're looking down 5 years down the road, even 10 years. Because number one, you're going to have the error box, and then you're going to have the reciprocating part to that box to show that it was an error box, because that would complete the whole story in 5 years down the line. But any of the exclusive ETBs, I think, will outperform the regular ETBs now, just because, once again, we're not going to be seeing the reprints, and we're going to be seeing nice, clean, just moving forward with those parts. So, like I said, as an investment for me, exclusive ETBs are definitely going to be your better bet. I do like to collect at least one of every ETB if I can. They do look good, and they do really stand out nicely behind us, as a display or in a collection. If you like Evolving Skies, if you like Sword and Shield, if you like even going all the way down to Chilling Reign, the boxes stand out nice and make a good centerpiece for your collection. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next one, which is Dominic32. My original question was about ETBs or booster boxes, and just noticed you made a video on it 3 months ago. So I'm going to go and see it. My new question would be, what sets are good to get an ETB and a good price point to invest in it? So right now, personally, ETBs are one of them things that go up incredibly well. So realistically, with our prices dropping, with everything going down, even if you go back to some Sun and Moon ones, if you go back to even XY Evolutions, I think market-wise, you're pretty sound on investing in those sets. They're not coming back, and they're sought after. ETBs, especially the further back you go into like black and white era, when the first ones came out, they get really spendy. But they're not going to backtrack on themselves just because that is, as this market kind of settles out here, watch the pricing on them. And when you see them flatline and kind of start to turn back up, would be a good investment point on any product right now when it comes to modern Pokemon items. If you go back 3 months ago, I made the argument between ETBs and booster boxes, and of course, in the last 3 months, a lot has changed with the ETB market. So even in a previous video recently, I've kind of backtracked on looking at ETBs. I think ETBs are good. I think they're good for investment part of it. But I get concerned with the fact that booster boxes still, space-wise, they take up a lot less space. They have a lot more packs. And realistically, for the price of 3 ETBs, you can get a booster box typically and get more packs than the 24 that you would get inside of that ETB. So once again, space, the amount of amount of packs per your money, all those things kind of lay in a factor. And once again, I've been kind of back up to booster boxes. I think booster boxes are still your safest bet in a Pokemon TCG. I think they'll give you the most bang for your buck for storage in the long run when it comes down to it. Granted, there's different aspects. We'll touch that in other videos, but really when it comes down to any kind of ETB, even current ones, if you're in Sword and Shield era, don't push past MSRP. If you do a little bit, even not we do, we'll push up 10% past, 5-10%, but that's it, guys. These things could be reprinted again and again and again. As you could see, the Sword and Shield ones just got buried. We got Sword and Shield ETBs all over the place now. Some people have actually been saying on some of the websites and some of the Discords that they're going to the managers of the Walmart and saying, if I were to buy so many of these, would you give them to me for half price, like $25? Because they're just, top shelf is covered in them, bottom shelf is covered in them, there's spots full of them, and they're just trying to get them out of there because they're just not moving that well. So once again, definitely watch their pricing, try and get below MSRP to get your security blanket on any ETB in Sword and Shield. Outside of Sword and Shield, just watch this dip, and when you see it start to flatten and start coming back up, definitely look at jumping on some of those ETBs that are outside, like Sun and Moon, Black and White, and XY era. So moving on to the next question. We got Elliot. So this is the one that was a little bit out. Hey, bud, do you know when they will include vintage Japanese set cards and maybe Top Sun, etc. inside of Pokédata? Now, I brought this up because I know a couple of us have emailed Pokédata because we were curious, and we got a response back that they are looking at vintage Japanese and looking at Japanese in general, getting more into it, but they're concentrating on the English market. Currently, they are about 70 to 75% complete on their database for the English version. They want to finish the sealed product next, is what they said, and then they would move on to Japanese vintage cards and following Japanese product. But they're trying to bring in the modern stuff as it's released. So like Shining Star V, and of course VMAX Climax, those sets, they're trying to get them updated as they come out, because of course that's what everybody's looking for when these sets first emerge, to get these pricing out. So that was the word from Pokédata.io. Once again, it's just going to be time. They're still building that database. They're still trying to get everything in place. There's a lot to do to get this all in place, working, and properly showing you the figures and everything that's going on. So I think be patient with them. I think, they aren't really clear on a time frame, but it's probably not going to be very much longer. They've really been building that database, so it won't be long before we'll be seeing the full complement of Pokemon products on Pokédata.io. Next question was from William. Should I buy original base set Venusaur for $30 on eBay UK? Excellent condition. Yes. I don't even think that's really, anytime you can get any of the big threes in excellent condition, if it's $30 and you can get it even from mint condition to lightly played, that is a fantastic price on those sets. Definitely check the holo and make sure that it's not all scuffed up and scratched up, but that's really what you want to be looking at. Of course, heavy whitening on the edges, but even a lightly played condition Venusaur for $30 that's an excellent price. Any of the big threes, I'd even say that for going to Gen 2, any kind of the gens, if you could see one of those, let me say that again, Gen 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you see any of those starters under $30 in excellent condition, I would definitely be looking into it because they're a great price, and any of the starters continue to do well. That's something I'd jump on if I saw it just for the $30 for a Venusaur. Is a hard bargain to pass away, that's for sure. Next one I got is Mikkel. I'm just not Michael, but it's Mikkel. I'm going to skip the first part, but I have a question. What do you think about investing in a complete sets? I assume it will be less profitable than sealed, but it could be an interesting balance between investing and collecting. Master sets do tend to be valued higher than some of the prices of the underlying cards, though liquidating is going to be a problem, so it may only be suitable for a long term, and that's exactly it. If you're planning on riding this out for 20 or 30 years on a product, I think master sets are going to be very profitable. But even what we're seeing is that people that are purchasing cards, completing master sets, they aren't going for as much as you would think for the amount of work and money potentially put into them. Chilling Reign, there's been a couple master sets now coming through, and they've been selling from $1,800 to $2,300 for the complete master set of Chilling Reign. That includes secret rares, hollows, commons, non-reverse rares and reverse rares, everything through, and they just aren't valuing high because the problem is that's like the video I did a while ago where I talked about as these sets continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, there's going to become more of a disconnect from collectors to try and get that master set like we used to do back in base set, jungle, all the way through Neo into Diamond and Pearl, just because you just can't afford to pull and get all them cards. There's just so much. So what you're going to see is if you go to base set and the molder sets, I think that there's more value opportunity in those. Collecting a first edition base set, of course, is going to have a premium. The internal cards in itself will drive that set a little bit more. Also, the individual cards, like you said, you look at if you need to liquidate it. Of course, there's more value inside of each one of those cards as you actually break them out of there if you need to. But the master set in general will hold a little bit of a premium just because you do have everything, and if everything's in good, gem mint condition inside of that set, that's really going to be a huge price on those. But as we get into these modern sets, XY era and up, even some of the black and white era stuff, you're going to not see the people looking for the investment in master sets. I don't think master sets are going to continue to trend to be a popular investment item. If you want to wait 30 years, maybe they will eventually take up if someone actually does complete one fully. But in general, I would be banking on a really long-term investment on that. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it on that part of it. And that's just my opinion. I don't know, I just don't know where master sets are going to go currently with the way Pokemon International is running these sets. Carl, what would Pokemon have to do to see the higher prices of sports card world? I guess of the sports card world. I think what you're going to have to do is see TCGs right now and sports cards are a completely different animal in a way. Yes, they're both cards. Yes, they're both purchased and traded and sold and graded, but in general, sports cards have one unique thing that we don't have in Pokemon or really any TCG until now. There's one that's coming out with it. If you haven't been watching other TCGs, Magic is now releasing a serialized cards. Now, what that means is like baseball. You're going to be able to pull that 1 of 100 or 10 of 100 or 15 of 100 cards inside of Magic and have that rarity that how many there are, because it comes down to the question, how many Charizards were printed? How many Shining Fates Charizards are? How many Hidden Fates Charizard were printed? How many are in a circulation? We have no idea. So how do you truly value what that card is worth if you don't know how many there are. Magic now is doing this. I believe it's either the set or the next one. I have to go back and look at that. But they are doing serialized rare or secret rares inside of the Magic decks. What that is going to do is allow them to excel on that pricing, because now someone won't be afraid to pay a high dollar for a card, knowing that there's only 1,000 of them or 250 of them. When you have a ceiling number of how many were printed, it makes you more comfortable to purchase that. So if Pokemon really wants to catch up with the sports cards to having those really, $10,000-$20,000 cards sitting out there, they're gonna have to go to a serialized number system in order to do that. So I think that's what you're asking, and that's what we're seeing right now is the Magic. It's kind of going to be the testing ground for a TCG to see how that'll work, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when they do that. How they're going to do it, and what happens when they do reprints. I mean, are they going to plan for reprints and know how much they're going to print of a set now? Because that means that if they print 250 of a card, and they print all 250 on their first and second wave, and they want to do a reprint in a year, they can't print that card anymore. They've locked themselves down unless they change it somehow to do that. So Magic's going to be testing the grounds, I think, on that. So definitely watch that and see where it goes. We might be seeing some serialized cards coming in the near future within the next 4 or 5 years, and that would really put TCGs closer to that playing ground of what we're seeing on the high prices of trading card or sports cards. So I think this is the last question I have, and this is from Thomas. What do you think about the outlook of MetaZoo? Is it something you would invest in? We did a video on MetaZoo a while ago, and for me, I have not put any money into MetaZoo. First of all, the $250 price point when it came out was a little steep for me. I didn't want to put that kind of investment into that with a speculation on the game. The second part of it is currently my feelings is, and I know everybody's got different feelings on this. My feelings is that right now this is just a speculation game. Locally, we have no tournaments. Locally, we have no LGSs selling it, and we're not really seeing that growth or any kind of actual base with the players starting to create the TCG. If they don't have players playing the game because it's too expensive, if it costs you $250 to get a booster box of these cards, are you really going to spend that regularly to join into this TCG? Now, that may change. Now we're getting this is where I'm starting to watch it a little bit more, is we're starting to get the unlimited print. The unlimited print is just coming out. If you follow Pokenow, he just released saying that they've got a limited quantity of unlimited print MetaZoo. Walmart and Target are supposed to start carrying MetaZoo on this unlimited print. So as it becomes more accessible to people, maybe it'll become a viable TCG. But personally, right now, it's just a speculation item. There is no basis to it yet. And when we see this unlimited come out, maybe it will get a base. Maybe I'll see it to be people playing it, and it'll start growing a actual game community underneath it to create that foundation. But right now, to me, it's just a bunch of investors trading boxes of cards or trading boxes of products, and there really is no value to them in the long term or the longevity of it until you can start getting players on it. So all these investors jumped on it, and when Cryptic Nation was released, it went all the way up to $800 pretty much in the first week. And who's going to buy an $800 booster box to open up to play a TCG? Nobody's going to do it. So right now it's just investors. As this limited print comes out, I'd like to see it start showing up as tournament play at our local LGSs. I'd like to see some tournaments moving on that and see some growth on the bottom side before we would really be looking into investing into it. So it is something we were watching. Don't get me wrong. It's on the radar. It's just something that I'm nowhere near wanting to pull the trigger on it and putting any kind of substantial funds down on that. So that's where I'm at right now on MetaZoo. So we'll keep in touch on that one and just see where it goes here over the next month or so as this unlimited print of Cryptic Nation and Nightfall get out in Walmart and Target into our local LGSs finally and see where it goes. So otherwise, that's the last question I have. Of course, if you got any more questions, any kind of things that you'd like to know, put them down in the comments. I always try and keep tabs on this, and we can do another Q&A. Maybe try and do it once a month. It's kind of cool, fun, nice to catch up on these questions that people have and really move on those to get you guys the information you're looking for. Other than that, I just want to let you know I am reading your comments about the holiday. I haven't really had time to sit down and answer all the comments. You guys put a ton of them out there. I'm going to get caught up. I know I'm about 68 behind right now, so a lot of them were for the giveaways, so that'll kind of narrow it down, but I will definitely get in on those, get caught up on those, and just discuss those, and that way if we got something going on, we can definitely talk with that. Once again, if you're in the community and you see a question come up, definitely jump on it. Help people out. Let's try and grow a community where we can actually help people and give good advice and just help and get things accomplished for other people. So other than that, if you're new here, just like normal, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and of course hit that like, guys. We can get the 40. It's free. It's great for us. It's great to get us our channel growing. And if you do like this kind of content, check out these 2 videos over here, and we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.